Cassidy, where are you right now? Mom is really worried about where you ran off to. It's the day of your meeting with the guy, and yet you're nowhere to be found.
Mom is still trying to find where I am. I already told her that I'm not going to meet with that guy.
What? Are you going to no-show for the meeting they set up for you?
That's what I've decided. I'm not going to let my parents be the ones to decide who I go out with. That's boring and lame. I want to live a life that I get to decide. So I'm going to wait to marry a man that I find fit for myself instead.
Huh? What are we even talking about right now? You were the one that wanted Mom and Dad to find you a partner to begin with, right? You made such a big deal about how you wanted to marry a man with a lot of money and asked Mom and Dad to look for a man like that for you. That's why Mom and Dad went through all the effort to get this meeting ready for you so that you could see the guy they think you'll like.
And at the time, the goal was to get married to a good-looking man with a lot of money. But look, after making such a big deal out of it, I ran into the man I am destined for. That's when I realized everything I needed to. It's not about money when it comes to marriage. It's all about the love and care that they show you.
Please don't tell me you went out and found yourself a male host and are planning to marry him over one time of him showing you some attention?
What? Why do you know about something like that? I never told anyone in the family, including you, that I've been paying to see male hosts.
There was something that had fallen right in front of your bedroom door. A card that you must have received from one of those hosts, and it was bedazzled. Also, you've been recently coming home at like 3 or 4 in the morning pretty often. You often smell of pure liquor every time. I knew right away what was going on there.
Wow, you're like a detective.
As long as the both of you actually love one another, that's fine. But before you run off with a man like that, you need to deal with the other responsibilities you have, please. You have a meeting with a man you were asking Mom and Dad to look for, right? You need to go to both Mom and Dad and that man and apologize to them before saying you're no longer interested. That's the least you can do for them all.
What? I'm not doing any of that. I can apologize to them all I want, but they're going to be pissed at me for this. So that's why I'd like you to go to all of them and tell them that I'm not coming today and that I'm sorry about it.
Huh? Why do I have to do something like that for you?
Well, you're my older sister, and your job is to take responsibility for your cute little sister. So with that, please take care of things back home. Today I have a date with Jake at Mouse World. Hey, Helena, please listen. I finally got something from Cassidy. She told me that she's not coming to today's meeting at all now. She said she found herself the man she's destined for and will be marrying him.
Just a second ago, she was telling me all about that. It seems as though the male host she's been going out with recently has taken a hold of her heart.
A male host? The man she's destined for is a male host of all people?
She said she finally came around to realizing that love is more important than money. So because of that, she wanted to tell you to cancel the meeting today with the man you had planned for her, and to do it as soon as possible. And after today, you should probably go apologize to him for it.
But... I could never go through with canceling this meeting now. The man I'd prepared for her is someone I had to pull a lot of strings with to get to go to this meeting. He happens to be a businessman that's helping run his family's company right now. And on top of that, he happens to be the son of a very important customer to your dad. So there's no way I'm going to be able to cancel this meeting on him now.
Wait, really? Then we're going to have to go and get Cassidy and have her go to meet him right away. I'll tell her to go back home right now.
No, it's no use trying to do that with her now. I'm not even able to get her to read the texts I'm sending to her anymore.
What?
I might have tried too hard to get a hold of her and really drove her off. The last thing she said to me was that if I'm going to be so upset about her, then she's not coming back home. And since that text, she hasn't read anything and won't pick up her phone to my calls either. Your dad has even tried calling her and she won't pick up for him either.
No way! She's not reading any more of my texts that I've sent. I think she's gone and blocked me, actually.
I knew this would happen with her. If this is how things are going to be, then it's up to you. I want you to go to that man we have waiting. I want you to go and meet with that CEO's son right now for your sister.
Huh? Why do I have to go see him?
You're already old enough now, and this is the perfect chance for you to find a good man to marry. He happens to be the son of a CEO and helps run the family business with his dad. If you and him get along, then you'll be set for life. He's in his 50s now, but he is a good-looking man, and I think you'll like him.
Hold your horses. He's in his 50s right now? I'm only 28 years old, Mom.
You'll be fine. Karen happens to be married to a man who is 45 years older than her. Compared to her, you're only around 22 years younger than him, so you're fine.
That does not make me feel any better about seeing him. And the other thing is that I'm not even wanting to get married right now.
Oh, just shut up already and get yourself prepared to go see him. Your little sister went and canceled last minute on him, and you, being her older sister, means you have to take over for her. It's your job.
Huh?
You're the older sister, right? If your little sister doesn't want to do something anymore, then you step in to do it for her. That's what it means to be an older sister.
For crying out loud, Mom, ever since I was little, you've always been forcing me to do everything for her, all because I'm her older sister. I'm tired of having to be the one to clean up after all of Cassidy's messes.
Excuse me?
I never thought the day would come where you'd actually force me to clean up a mess like this for her. Having to go out with the man she was crying for? Who the hell have you thought I am this whole time, Mom? Every dang time my little sister causes trouble or makes an accident, you send me in to clean up the mess. I'm not Cassidy's janitor.
What is with that attitude of yours? When have I ever treated you like her janitor?
You've been treating me like that ever since she was born. Every time she got yelled at in school, and you blamed me for it, saying I wasn't watching her close enough. Why the hell did I have to act like her parent at school and apologize for everything she did? And what about the times that Cassidy would break her friends' toys? You would blame me for not being there to manage how she handled the toys. And then would take my allowance away and use it to pay for new toys. I'm sick and tired of being there to take blame for everything she does.
Shut up right now! This is what it means to be an older sister. Now you cut it out with all that back-talking and get your ass ready to go see that man. If you don't, I'm going to have you kicked out of this house.
What did you say to me?
You are too old now to not be married yet, and instead all you've been doing is living in your parents' house. If you want to keep living your life like that, the least you can do is shut up and be useful to your parents. You are going to see that man now that Cassidy isn't going. Do you hear me, Helena? I want you to make everything work with him and make him your husband so that you don't have to rely on your dad and I anymore. And once you and him have your marriage, I want you sending your dad and I $2,000 every month.
Huh? Enough! Since when?
Since when what?
Since when did this become about me sending you guys any money? This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
I was expecting my young and pretty Cassidy to be the one to marry that man, but now I'm no longer able to get any response from her. So I'm going to make you responsible for her actions, and we'll have you marry him now and send us our money. You marry that man, and you pay us every month as a way of being as good of a daughter to us as Cassidy was. Helena, today I'm going to be coming back to Mom and Dad's house.
Cassidy?
Long time no see, right? Have you been doing okay?
Where have you been all this time? Ever since that day you never talked to me. We've had no clue about where you went. I thought you died or been kidnapped or something. Yet after 5 years, you're just gonna come back to Mom and Dad's like nothing ever happened?
Man, I'm sorry about whatever happened back then. I guess I pissed Mom and Dad off a lot more than I'd first imagined. I was too afraid to go back home to them, so that day I chose to start living with my boyfriend.
Boyfriend? Are you talking about the male host you were after then?
That's right. I went and stayed at Jake's house. Then he and I got engaged, but then we broke up. But then we got back together again. A lot has happened in the past 5 years. But the next big thing that's happened is I've become pregnant with his kid. That's why I've planned to tell all of you guys about how we've gotten married and are having a baby when I'm home.
What? You got married and now you're pregnant?
So much has happened to me that I'm sure you're shocked, right? When I showed Mom and Dad my big belly, they were both just as shocked as you are.
You showed them your belly already. Wait, so then you're already at the house then?
That's what I've been trying to say. And that's why I said starting today, I'd be back in their house. Just a bit ago, I got back from my 5 years vacation. I was assuming they would never let me back into the house again, but they both cried when they saw me and were so happy.
I'm sure they were. For some reason or another, Mom and Dad just love you so much that they'd do anything for you. And while you've been gone, you got married and are going to give birth to their grandchild. All of their wishes as your parents have come true by this point.
And this is all thanks to you, Helena. Thank you so much for being a single woman this whole time. Because of that, both Mom and Dad were able to let me right into the house without even thinking about it.
Huh?
Man, I was surprised by that. I had given you the chance to land yourself a man with all that money and a very bright future. But he told you no when you went to see him? You were told that you weren't his type by an old geezer in his 50s? That pretty much means you're screwed as a woman.
What? Well, he was expecting to be marrying a 22-year-old woman who never had any experience with a man before, and that's what Mom told him. However, I happened to be 28 at the time, and that wasn't part of the deal, so of course he'd say no to me.
And since then, you've been alone with not a single man interested in you, right? That is too crazy. No wonder Mom and Dad were so happy to have me come back to them after 5 years. Mom told me she was getting so fed up with a worthless daughter like you who never did anything for her parents. She then told me that she never expected to see her baby's face again, so this is the happiest she's felt in a long time.
That's just like Mom and Dad to be the most cruel people in the family. I never turned out to be the child they wanted, so they abandoned me and put all their love and care into you.
And so, Helena? About them not caring about you any from today, you're no longer allowed back in this house. I'm going to make sure that the parasite who has been living off her parents for far too long without ever finding herself a man or making any kids is gone for good.
Huh?
Well, Mom and Dad both told me that it would be wonderful if after giving birth to my baby, I just lived with them forever. So I gave my man a call about it. And he told me that if things are going okay after the birth, it would be totally okay to live with my parents. So that means he's going to need room for all his things in this house too.
So what you're saying is that in order to accommodate your husband now, you're going to give him my room?
That's right. I'm so sorry that I'm always so selfish and both Mom and Dad do everything for me. But you've always been such a loser ever since you were a little girl, so it's not my fault everyone has grown tired of you and wants you gone.
Huh?
I'm going to take all your crap now and throw it outside the house for you, all right? A parasite your age needs to learn that you don't get access to everything anymore. Especially when your cute and loved little sister needs it more. So it's time for you to go. I really hope that you can end up like me soon, finding yourself a good husband and a house to live in.
I'm not living in that house anymore. I live with my husband in a high-rise apartment now.
What?
So go ahead and live with Mom and Dad again. Do whatever the heck you want, really. All of that has nothing to do with me. So have fun moving your husband into their house as well.
What? Husband? And high-rise apartment? Helena, have you already started to have early onset dementia or something? You're a single woman, so you don't have a husband. And there's no way you'd ever afford to live in one of those kinds of apartments. That is so insane of you to say something like that I just peed myself a little laughing.
I'm sorry, but nothing about this is insane. It's all very, very real. I moved out of Mom and Dad's house long ago, actually.
Huh? What are you going on about? You have been living with Mom and Dad all your life, right? You told everyone that the only way you'd be moving out of their house is if you got married, right?
And that was the plan, but I got kicked out of the house by Mom and Dad. After you ran away, they forced me to go and meet the man you were supposed to see, but that old guy told me I wasn't his type and left. Mom and Dad had been hoping that one of their daughters would end up with a man loaded with money, but I wasn't able to achieve that for them. So Mom told me that she never wanted to see my face again, and that's when I got kicked out of the house.
What?
Of course, by that point, they had gotten on my last nerves, so I jumped on what she was wanting from me and said I would never come back again. And ever since that day, I've not once gone back to see them.
Is that right? But in your room that you were living in, all your things are in here. All your clothing and your bags, makeup, all of it is in here. Yet, you're telling me you don't live here anymore?
They told me to leave their site when they were out of the house right after that 50-year-old left. At that point, I was so fed up with everyone that I didn't even go home to grab any of my things. After that, I started renting a small apartment and had to buy all the things I needed back.
No way.
Then a little while after all that, I met someone amazing and we ended up getting married. But actually, I still haven't gotten around to telling Mom or Dad about it. I'm sorry, but could you go and tell those two about it? Let them know that their older daughter's been married for some years now, and explain to them that my husband and I have a very nice high-rise apartment now, and I'll not be going back to them. Then you can finish by saying that you and your husband are totally welcome to move into their house now.
Wait. No way. Why did you never ever tell something so important to Mom and Dad? Couldn't you have at least told Mom that you got married? And what do you mean you both live in a high-rise apartment? I still don't get that. What kind of man did you end up marrying?
He's just your average office worker, but both him and myself have been doing very well in the fields we work. So the money that each of us bring in each year is comparable to that of a doctor.
Comparable to that of a doctor?
You think I'd ever in my entire life want to tell those two dumbasses about the wonderful life I'm living now? Those two wanted me to marry a man in his 50s so that they could have access to all his money, right? And when that didn't work out, after forcing me to take your place and meeting him, they cast me out of the house. I was worried that the only thing that would come from telling them about marriage was trouble.
I get that, but...
That's all I have to say now. And let me just say, don't bother asking me for any gifts because you're having a baby. I plan on cutting ties between myself and all of you.
Hey, Helena, I heard about you from Cassidy. What the hell were you thinking not telling your parents that you got married? And what's this about you living in a high-rise apartment now? Why have you not been telling your parents about any of that important information?
That's because this information is too important for two dumbasses to know about. Did you not understand that?
Excuse me? You... Who the hell do you think you are calling your own parents dumbasses?
I don't think of myself as anyone special. Just you happen to be two dicks that think they can treat their older daughter like garbage because she didn't get the old creepy 50-year-old to marry her. I think calling you both dumbasses is the perfect description, to be honest.
At that time, both your dad and I were very tired. That day your little sister just vanished on us, and we had to make sure to take good care of that man because he's the son of your dad's customer. That's why we kind of took out all our anger on you. We didn't actually think that a man like him would be interested in you and turn you away.
I'm not here to listen to your excuses, Mom, and it's not just that that makes you and Dad dumbasses. Ever since I was little, you have both completely ignored me for Cassidy and made me responsible for all of the mistakes she made. When you blew up on me the last time, I had had enough myself, and that's why I chose to never go back to you guys. No matter how much you try to apologize and excuse yourself for the way you treated me, I'm not going to let you guys back in my life.
Don't say something so depressing. How about we celebrate both yours and Cassidy's wedding? We can have both your guys' husbands come, and we can all eat delicious food together while sharing good memories we have. I really want to meet your husband, Helena.
Huh?
Oh, can you please at least bring him over to your parents' house just one time? I'll get all kinds of good foods made up for you two, and I'll even prepare a bed for you both to sleep in. It would be wonderful to have the both of you.
What is this all about? Your favorite baby, Cassidy, has come back home to you now, so you don't need me anymore. You're gonna have a grandbaby here soon as well. And from what I've heard, Cassidy and her husband will be moving in with you guys long term, right? I'll most definitely not be bringing my husband back to a place like that, so no thank you.
Then if I make sure Cassidy and them don't live with us, will you come by and stay a while? I really want you to introduce us to your husband who is able to afford a high-rise apartment. If you're able to promise us that you'll bring him over, then I'll do my very best to kick Cassidy out of here. And if you find that you're more happy back here, you are more than welcome to move back home to this house and live with us again. As long as your husband comes too.
What? You don't want to have Cassidy and her husband come live with you? She told me you were so happy to have her home.
And at first I was super happy to see her again. But I never thought that you'd hide from your dad and I the fact that you got married. And, well, without the knowledge of you having a husband like that, I thought that Cassidy was the only one who had a chance at seeing a grandbaby and having someone come and live with us again. But I never knew that her husband used to be a male host at some point. And from what she's told me, he's not even working anymore and just stays home all day. They want to come and live with your dad and I here, but don't plan to give us any money in return. Now that I'm aware of this, I don't want any of them living in my house at all.
What?
At the time, Cassidy came in saying she just got married and was bringing us our first grandbaby. And along with that, she told us the man she married had connections to Dad's work, so of course I was okay with them both coming to live with us. Your dad and I really thought she got married to such a wonderful man.
But it turned out that the man she married is a jobless ex-male host.
And before knowing about any of that, we thought things would go perfectly. We assumed that her husband had money and all that, so we already started to talk about having the house updated and expanded in order to make it all comfortable for us. Her husband having such a job would mean he could afford it, and so I asked her if he would be able to pay for all that work to be done to the house. And that's when she said he doesn't have that kind of money. I was wondering how he didn't have the money to afford such work, and so I asked about it. She told me he wasn't a CEO or anything just yet, but had plans to start his company really soon. She told me he's currently unemployed, but soon he will start his own male host club, like a men's strip club, and make that his business.
So he plans to start his own business.
I was so happy to have Cassidy back in our lives again, but I'm a bit disappointed by all the horrible news she told us after. But you're in a totally different situation than her, right? Your dad and I will apologize for everything we did to you in the past. We can make up again, and you can live with us again, right?
Who the hell would do that with you two? I have no plans of letting you guys meet my husband, and I sure as hell am not going to go back and live with all of you. Your younger daughter isn't doing good enough, so you switch to your older daughter. Your older daughter isn't doing good enough, so you switch back to your younger daughter. And then the cycle starts all over again. Back and forth, back and forth. How many more times are you and Dad going to keep going back and forth between which daughter you want to care more about?
Hey, we're not going back and forth like that.
Don't ever talk to me again. I'll never tell you anything else about the life my husband and I live, so don't bother me anymore. I've chosen to live the rest of my life believing that I never had parents or a sister.
This is the worst. Because of you, I've been kicked out of Mom and Dad's house. What the hell do you think you're doing?
Huh?
Mom and Dad were so happy to have me back home with them again. But the moment they found out that my husband used to be a host and is now jobless, they turned me away. She told me that they're having you move back in with them, so I needed to leave now. They won't even let me have my baby here with them and want me to leave.
They kicked you out already? I have no plans of going back there, and I thought I made that clear already.
Because of this, I need you to tell me where your apartment is right now. I'm coming to your place to relax and have my baby there. That's what I've decided, and nothing's going to change my mind about it.
What?
Had you just stayed single instead of getting married, then Mom and Dad would have never kicked me out of their house because I would have been their only hope. You're going to take responsibility for this.
Shut the hell up, you idiot! I want you to go screw yourself with that responsibility and then walk your ass back to your home and hope that you can still have a baby after being screwed that hard.
What? Shut up! Do something about this right now! You're my older sister, right? I'm not kidding when I say that my husband has no job right now, and that means no money at all. So as my older sister, you should be helping your little sister and her husband in trying times like these.
Go screw yourself. I'm blocking you right now, so have fun crying to nobody.
Huh? You're blocking me? Wait a freaking minute. There is no way you can block me right now, you jerk.
Then watch this.
Wait! Hey! There is no way you just blocked me. Hey! You read these messages I'm sending to you right now. Helena, please! I'm sorry for everything, and I'll apologize to you in person if you just please let me come to your apartment. I don't have anywhere else to go right now. Helena, please! Helena, please don't leave me!
And just like that, I was able to show Cassidy that I could and would indeed be blocking her. After doing that, we never got any crap from her again, and my husband and I were able to continue living our lives in peace. From some rumors I overheard, it seems that Cassidy and her husband had to end up moving into a dirt-cheap apartment that doesn't even have its own bathroom. They began to fight in that tiny apartment, all while Cassidy has still been carrying her baby, and she makes sure every day to tell her husband that she's realized that money is far more important than love and destiny and tells him to go get a job. But because of their constant fights, things between them only continue to get worse. Recently, her husband stopped coming home to her, and she would cry on the floor asking why she was given a life like this. When it comes to my parents, my dad sent me a few emails saying that they want me to move back home with them now that they have gotten rid of Cassidy. Or if that's not what I want, then I could at least let them come live with my husband and I in the apartment. Of course, I never responded to any of those emails, and soon I'm thinking of blocking my dad as well. But until then, I'm going to continue reading through these emails so that I can enjoy watching those two morons freak out like their lives depend on me.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hi, Rachel. Do you have a second? Your brother and I have something to tell you. Hey, Katie, of course. What is it? Mark and I are having a baby. I'm 3 months pregnant now. What? Oh my gosh, congratulations. We better throw a baby shower soon then. Oh, we're fine, thank you. I'm sure we'd be better off planning and celebrating for ourselves than leaving it to you. I'm sorry, what? I didn't reach out to you just to let you know that I was pregnant. I actually had a very important favor to ask of you. Once the baby in my belly is born, I'd like to ask you to never show yourself in front of us again. I need to make sure that our child doesn't grow up seeing you as a role model. Are you serious? So you're suggesting that we stop being family? Yes. I'm never going to get to see the two of you or the baby. Exactly. I'm sorry, it's been very difficult being around a high school graduate lowlife myself. And it's even more out of the question to be forcing my own child to be around one. So I'll be maintaining a good distance with you from now on. Wow, just wow. And before you even ask, yes, Mark 100% agrees with this. You know, I would even go as far as to say that he was the one who came up with the whole idea in the first place. That we should distance ourselves from you since you're a high school graduate. I'm glad that the two of us have felt the same way about this matter. You two have always treated me like this. You know that I wanted to go to college too. I had no choice but to start work because that's what our family needed. The company that your parents were running went out of business, right? I've heard that you were all struggling to get by for a while. Our parents were able to find different jobs after that and worked for years. That's the only reason why Mark was able to go to college, unlike me. Are you still going to make fun of me while knowing all of that? I mean, I do feel bad for you, but then again, a high school graduate is a high school graduate, and that's that. Society won't take into account why your educational background is the way it is. Seriously. Through my educated eyes, you people are all the same. And it hurts my eyes when I have to watch you uneducated people make all of these excuses as to why you were unable to get a proper education. It really brings out your lack of dignity. Why is it that the worse the educational background, the more excuses people have? I would never make an excuse if I was in your shoes. So what you're trying to say is, regardless of what I say, the words that come out of my mouth are still those of a high school graduate, so you don't care. Whatever, I get what you're trying to tell me. If that's what you want, then I won't show myself in front of the two of you ever again after your child is born. I was scared that you wouldn't understand me, so I'm glad you do. I'll be headed then. Goodbye!
Rachel, guess what? I now live in an apartment in the middle of the city inside a skyscraper. I'm officially on top of the world.
Oh, wow, that's great. Did you two decide to move in preparation to welcome the child?
Yeah, I read that the location at which you live significantly affects the child's educational outcome. I mean, you can see that it's true from me and Katie. We both grew up in the city, and now we're both graduates from prestigious universities, and work at mega companies. I'm sure our child is going to turn out as bright as the two of us, so we better make sure their environment doesn't drag them down.
I agree. I think it's important for a parent to prioritize education. I've also read that the location the child grows up greatly affects their drive towards achieving well in school.
Exactly! I mean, it's common sense that if you live with idiots, then you'll become one yourself. And in order to avoid that from happening, Kitty and I are raising our child in the best and brightest environment that we could provide.
That's great. Your apartment must really be amazing.
Yeah, it's the type of place that someone with an educational background like you could only dream of. I've heard rumors of celebrities living there, and apparently, it even houses CEOs and managers from all kinds of big companies. That's why the school that's built nearby is one of the best in the state.
Wow, the rent must really be expensive.
Yeah, the room itself is also really luxurious too. It's pretty spacious and has a great view. Sorry to show off like this, but I'm sure you can live somewhere like this if you can go ahead and graduate from college. It probably isn't too late. In fact, I'll invite you over so you can take a look.
You're inviting me over. I thought you hated people who aren't graduated from a nice college. Why would you invite me to your house?
As you've heard from Katie, you'll never see her or me again once our child is born. So I thought it would be nice to have a chance to say our last goodbye. And also, you'll probably never get the chance again. So I thought it would be a kind act to let you come over. I'll even let you take pictures to hang on your wall once you go home.
You know what? I'd love to go. I'm genuinely curious to see what type of luxurious place you'll be living in, so thank you for inviting me.
Of course! As the French once said, noblesse oblige. Let us nobles be empathetic for the poor. You know, Katie and I's total annual income has just exceeded $200,000. It sounds like a dream even to me. I'll show you a view that you'll never be able to forget.
Hello, Rachel. Thank you for coming over today. I always thought that the poor people never had the time or mental space to be wasting their time. But I guess I was wrong. Thank you for making time for us in your busy schedule. Do you never get bored of making fun of me? And you have something to say to me before anything else, don't you? What the hell was that? Why would you throw coins at me when I was leaving? I mean, you brought some gifts with you as congratulations for moving in, didn't you? Well, I was raised to always give back for anything given. We're never seeing each other again, so I thought it would be a good idea to give back to you right there on the spot. Give back. Do you consider throwing coins at me as giving back to me? Oh my, do you not? I thought that the cheap-looking flowers in the vase that you brought today were worth a few dollars. If I'm giving back something of the same value, then I thought a few coins would fit for that. How could you say that? You know, I've always expected you to be poor, but I never expected you to be this poor. I mean, who brings that kind of obviously cheap thing as a gift for others? Those flowers that you gave me made me sure of my theory. People who aren't educated properly have no choice but to become poor. I'd like to thank you for making me reassure myself that I'll never make my children become like you. I chose my present myself, just for the two of you. I heard that you two were moving into a nice apartment, so I thought some flowers in a nice vase would bring the whole interior together. That vase is an artwork that was made by a famous potter. I won't tell you the price because it's a gift, but it's a very nice gift and you should appreciate it. Whatever. You don't have to try so hard to make yourself seem like something that you're not. Through the educated eyes of my husband and I, we can obviously tell that this vase isn't worth anything more than a few dollars. Did you get it at Dollar Tree? Wait, let me guess. You just made it yourself so that you wouldn't have to spend money, didn't you? Seriously. However you got it, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm sorry, but my husband and I have already thrown away the flowers and the vase that you bought today. I see that you chose it yourself, but it just emits some sort of poor, malicious energy that we couldn't take. There was no other choice. I'm sorry. How rude of you. All I wanted to do was congratulate you on beginning a new chapter, and this is what you do in return? I've already gotten used to you making fun of my educational background, but this is just purely heartless of you. I can't take this anymore. Well, then it's great timing, isn't it? We're never going to see each other again, so you can hate us all you want. You'll never have to see us again, and we'll never have to see you either. I mean, I hope so, but I have a feeling that I'm going to have to see you again. What are you talking about? There's no way we're ever wasting another minute talking to you. We're officially strangers now, which means that you'll never be stepping foot in our house either. What a bummer. I'm glad that you at least got to see what a nice house meant for educated and rich people looks like. I'm sorry to break it to you, but I own this building. What? It's true that a lot of people who live here have great educational backgrounds, but it's not like I made that a rule as the owner. I don't care about where you came from as long as you're able to pay the rent. And I don't appreciate how you feel entitled enough to make the rules around here when I literally make them myself. I get that you're mad, but making obvious lies doesn't help your situation, honey. Whether you believe it or not, I own this building, and that's all there is to it. The room that you showed me, as if you owned the whole world, that room is mine, and you're paying me to live in it. If you don't believe me, come on over to the top floor. You'll see the whole floor is my house. The whole top floor? You two looked so dumb when you were telling me that I'd never live in such a nice place. Every cent that you spend to live here comes to me, for God's sake. Are you kidding? How is that possible? In what world would a high school graduate own a building like this? You're lying to feel better about yourself, aren't you? You can even look at the papers that you signed to finalize the moving in process. You'll see that the room is under my name. Really? I don't care what you want to believe, but if you're going to keep trying to believe that I'm lying, then take a look at it and then bother me. I'll be going then. I'm still furious at the two of you. The coins that you threw at me will be going to donation, by the way.
Rachel, answer the phone right now. How on earth did you end up owning a building like this? This is impossible.
Looks like you finally took a proper look at the papers. How did you not notice anything when you were signing them, for God's sakes?
Even if they had the same name as you, I never thought it would be you. I just thought you had the same name as the owner by coincidence. I mean, who would think that it's their high school graduate sister that owns this place? You're supposed to be a poor lowlife.
Yes, I would be a poor lowlife if I hadn't worked as hard as I did.
What?
No matter how much the two of you would harass me, I stayed focused on my work and brought myself to this position. After paying off our parents' debt, I earned countless certificates to qualify for all kinds of jobs. One of the many jobs that I'd experienced was caretaking. On that job, I ended up working as a caretaker for a wealthy madam who worked alone in her mansion.
At a mansion?
Yes, I got sent there by coincidence at first, but she really liked the way I did things. She ended up scouting me to work for her personally, so I left my company and worked as her personal caretaker.
What kind of fairy tale scenario is that?
I took very good care of her until she passed away years later. In the end, it turned out that she left all of her inheritance under my name.
And you're saying that this building was part of that inheritance?
Yes, this is one of the many buildings and apartments that she left behind for me.
What the hell? All you had to do was take care of some rich old lady for a few years and you got all of that? That's not supposed to happen in real life.
Well, it did, and now I'm the owner of the apartment that you live in. The madam told me that she had to struggle quite a bit when she was younger, and that she was the same as me, a high school graduate. Because of that, her marriage got canceled and she was harassed at her workplace for years. She said I reminded her of herself.
The old lady never went to college either?
Isn't it amazing? No matter what the odds or what anyone else said to her, she still kept working towards her goals. In the end, she became the queen of real estate in this area. I mean, she was rich enough to hire a personal caretaker, so that says a lot about her wealth. I earned tons and gained a lot of inspiration in the last few years that I was by her side.
But why on earth would you hide that all from me? Not even Mom or Dad know that you have this much wealth, do they?
Of course, Mom and Dad know everything about this. They were the first people that I told.
Really?
Yeah, I even suggested that they started living with me, but they said they're going to pass on the offer. That they were glad I was happy and that they want me to live my own life since they took so much away from me when I was young.
Then why didn't you tell me too?
Why did you think that I would even think about telling you? Do you not remember how many times you made fun of me for not having gone to college? I'm not bored enough to deal with you. Anyways, when are you planning to leave your apartment? I hope you're already beginning to pack your things up.
What do you mean? Why would we move out? We just moved here.
You wouldn't want to live in an apartment owned by a high school graduate, would you? I mean, solely judging by the way you and your wife persistently harassed me for years about my educational background, of course. Seems only logical that you move out to avoid paying such a person for living. Or do you plan on continuing to live in my apartment? Because if that's the case, then you probably won't be able to achieve your goal of never letting your baby see me. And besides, your pride as an elite probably couldn't handle the fact that someone below you is literally living on top of you, could you?
I don't believe this. I'm supposed to be the successful one out of the two of us. But even if it's below you, this room is still something that I worked hard to earn. And I paid tons of initial fees. I just can't move out right away. I even invited some friends to come check it out. I can't back out now.
Whatever, I don't care whether you keep living here or move out. As the owner of your room, the only thing I care about is that you pay me your rent. Well then, it's good doing business with you. Hey Rachel, I just had a quick question if you don't mind. Do you think you could give us a discount on the rent as the owner, or could you possibly move us to a higher floor for the same amount of rent? Is that even a real question? No, I won't allow either of those things. Come on, Rachel, aren't we sisters? I'm sure you could work something out for us. Please? How many personalities do you have? Do you think I'm just gonna forget about the evil stepsister that harassed me for years? I finally had an epiphany. It's just wrong and stupid to make fun of people for their educational background. You couldn't possibly measure a person's worth with such a superficial trait. I'll apologize for every single thing I've done and said that offended you, so let's start over as besties. Seriously. Yes, aren't you glad to finally have the loving little sister that you always wanted? We should go and have some tea together sometime. I'm pregnant, but I'm still doing well enough to go out on my own. If you're so bored, then why don't you just go get a proper job? I'm sure your college degree would get you a decent job. Maybe you'll finally be able to quit your part-time job. What? I hate to break it to you, but I know everything about you two. As the owner, I have the right to check your annual incomes. You two have been telling me that you're elites who work for mega companies. $200,000 a year. Why the hell would you lie about that? I know that you two only make $60,000 a year combined, and you only have a part-time job. How? Where did you find out? I found out when the two of you tried to move in. I heard that the real estate company declined the two of you because of your annual salaries, and that you two were making excuses that you'd just been fired recently, and that you'd been making $200,000 a year until last year. Mark promised that he would be promoted and would make as much as he used to right away, right? And that you'd get a proper job as soon as you could. How do you know the exact lines of our conversation? You even showed them your student IDs from college, right? Do you really think student IDs from years ago mean anything at all in the real world? How? The real estate agency contacted me right away. And I said you can move in since it's all up to me in the end. All because I cut you some slack as your older sister. Really? But what do you do in return? Try to negotiate prices and pay less. I don't think I've ever met anyone as greedy as you. If you have time to be negotiating prices with me, then why don't you find a job? As you promised, go ahead and show that you're an elite. Of course, that's exactly what I'm planning on doing. It's just that I'm pregnant right now. And I heard that Mark isn't doing too well at his workplace either. Look, I don't care about the reason why you two ended up getting fired from your previous jobs. But you better keep every single promise that you made at the office. If you even make one delayed payment, you're out. Isn't that a bit harsh? I think it's great that you two care enough about your child to move just to give them a good learning environment. But biting off more than you can chew is never a good idea. I heard the preschools around here cost tens of thousands per year, and that's just the beginning. Kids cost more and more as they get older. What? Preschools here cost that much? Did you not look up the living expenses around here before moving in? I mean, we just thought that the living in the city would be enough. Breathing the same air and seeing the same sights as smart people is important in raising a smart child, right? Living in a nice environment won't automatically make your kids smarter. Isn't that common sense? I think the two of you should have a nice, long talk about the future. Compare your income with the living expenses around here and come back to me with an answer. Because things won't always go your way just because you went to a nice university. I found out later on, but the reason that the two of them got fired from their jobs in the first place was simply because they were bad at what they did. They would go around harassing people who didn't go to nice schools like them, but wouldn't do much work either and ended up getting fired. After a conversation, the two properly compared their earnings with their expenses. Told me later that week that they would give up their dream apartment. After that, I heard that they moved into a cheaper apartment. Sometimes I receive texts from Katie asking me to support her child's educational fees, and that they want to make their kids get into the top schools in the nation. But I just send pictures of the view from my apartment in response.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.